Daniel tells us what happens halfway through the Antichrist's 7-year contract with Israel. And he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week, and for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. In June of 2018, the EU proposed this new foreign aid program called the NDICI. This 7-year contract is made by the revived Roman Empire, with Israel and many others. Furthermore, we have seen how Javier Solana would like the EU to provide peace and security to its neighboring countries. Dr. John Walvoord says that he will enter into a 7-year covenant of protection and peace with the people of Israel. Daniel 9:27 tells us, "For half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering." 1/2 of 7 years is 3.5 years. The text seems to imply the Antichrist breaks his 7-year treaty halfway through. He will stop the regular sacrifices that will have resumed in a rebuilt Jewish temple. Isaiah talks about this when he says, "Then your covenant with death will be annulled, and your agreement with Sheol will not stand. When the overwhelming scourge passes through, you will be beaten down by it." Pastor and theologian John MacArthur reiterates this when he says, Antichrist breaks his covenant with Israel. The new NDICI merges 11 foreign aid programs into one. Each 7-year program is subjected to a midterm review after approximately 3.5 years. This EU document describes the length of the review period for the previous 7-year budgetary cycle. In this document, which assesses all EU foreign aid programs, the review term is from January 1st, 2014 until June 30th, 2017. This is exactly 3.5 years. This review of EU foreign aid is done to help them decide what action should undergo renewal, amendment, or suspension. In the EU's impact assessment of the new program, it discusses how the arrangement should be monitored and evaluated. Interestingly, there are 3 sixes on this part of the table of contents. Furthermore, an EU Parliament document discusses their input for the midterm review of foreign aid programs. On this page, we can see this light 666 connection to the midterm review. What else does the Antichrist do at the middle of the 7-year covenant? It says, "And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator." Jesus also talks about this abomination of desolation prior to his second coming. He says, "So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, standing in the holy place, let the reader understand, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." This term is mentioned 3 times in the book of Daniel. One says, "Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress, and shall take away the regular burnt offering, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate." This was fulfilled in 168 BC. Antiochus Epiphanes invaded Israel and set up an idol of Zeus on the temple altar. After a successful revolt, the temple was rededicated. This rededication is celebrated every year during Hanukkah. This historical fulfillment shows that the phrase abomination of desolation is a technical term which refers to an idol in the Jewish temple. However, Daniel 9:27 implies the end-time abomination of desolation is a person, not just a statue. It says, "And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate." Jesus also indicates this in Mark 13, where he mentions the abomination of desolation standing where he ought not to be. Paul clarifies this for us when he says, "Let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself against every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God." Revelation goes into more detail on the surrounding events. The Antichrist sidekick, the false prophet, orders an image to be set up of the Antichrist. However, Revelation 13 says, "And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast might even speak, and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain." The EU's next budgetary period runs from the beginning of 2021 until the end of 2027. Will the abomination of desolation happen halfway through in the summer of 2024? Will the Antichrist be revealed at this time?